Okay, well, let's do... one more, I guess? I'm feeling torn about this. Because I don't think this is the game at its strongest. What the hell? Let's do it. Let's go do Pirates and see how long that takes. And then I think there's a good... Then we might finish tomorrow. Or devote some more time to Q&A tomorrow. I don't know.
You mustn't.
I know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go do Pirates. Alright, so for Pirates, we're going to do nothing until Saturday, right? And then Hamlet is going to get sent to wherever, England, and we'll go with him. I don't remember the option. Yes, I can just, but I don't want to end the game. I actually kind of do want to explore some of these options more. It's just taking a really long time. I wish that I could, I wish there was more of a shortcut system.
For Paris.
Yes. What do I have to do to get on the boat? Go ahead, and Kyla, and tell me, please. I'll miss you too, Brit. Goodbye, sister. Be safe. To Paris, then. I do have dialogue. So, I believe you need to tell Claudius that his plan to send Hamlet away won't work. I do have dialogue about that, so let's try that.
My lord.
My lord, I know for certain Prince Hamlet will survive his trip to England. I know also that this is opposite of your desire. Why on earth would I desire my nephew's death? Because I suspect he's been rather a thorn in your side as of late. That's neither here nor there. My nephew is very much alive and well, and though things have been difficult as of late, I have hope to rectify the situation. I see he hasn't hatched his plan yet. Regardless, my lord, if the situation changes, may we discuss it further, I suppose. Okay. Ophelia learns about a future event. Okay. When would that probably happen? After the play, I'm guessing? So... maybe Friday night or Saturday morning. When does he do the thing with Claudius and Guildenstern? Is that what just happened? No. Yeah, I agree, Kyla. I just want to be prepared in case he doesn't. Fucking Quince.
One and all. The murder of Gonzago.
Yeah.
Claudius.
To leave, I feel ill, cancel the play. Yeah, I should... okay, it's fine. Claudius is upset. Yes, here we go. His Majesty wishes to speak with you.
My lady.
Bye, Amaranth. See ya. Earlier you mentioned something to me about a voyage at sea. You told me I would be unsuccessful in sending Hamlet to his demise. You knew this long before I myself even formed this thought, and yet you told no one. Am I to understand that your secrecy is a tacit approval? What of it, if so, my lord? I understand my nephew has caused you no small amount of pain. You may be interested to hear this. I plan to give Rosencrantz and Guildenstern a letter to deliver to the Queen of England, and within this letter is writ my nephew's death warrant, a request to have him quietly executed. I have faith that my letter will reach its intended audience safely. Even so, as far as I know, you're the only one who knows my true intentions. I shall not be telling anyone else about what the letter itself contains. If you wish to avail yourself to a king and so earn my personal favor, perhaps you can join Hamlet on his journey, ensure he does not make it back. The ship sails at 10 in the morning. Go with him and do my bidding. Make sure Hamlet dies, and you will be justly rewarded. Okay. Oh. What is happening here? Oh, of course. Of course.
My lord.
I've further news for you, my lord Fortinbras. Excellent. My time is increasingly limited as we prepare for the siege. Claudius's efforts are regaining focus. I'm concerned his throne may need to be melted to the base, so to speak. The people are starving and unhappy under Claudius's Under Claudius's ill-fitted rule, all they need is an excuse to storm the castle. If there were someone who could lead a siege, better if it was a Dane, perhaps the prince. No, he's far too indecisive in his own right. There is another, a duke's son. He has the love of the people. He would be amenable to your rule. But Laertes has sailed for Paris. He's not within Denmark at the moment, okay? We're gonna have to do this. Damn it. What would cause him to return, furious and full of righteous fire? I don't know. No, wait, he has a sister. A delicate little thing, hardly grown. If something were to happen to her, he'd get his revenge in an instant. He loves her more than anything in this world. Are you prepared to eliminate her of your own hand? You know her face, her habits, her comings and goings. My men and I are utterly at your liberty.
What?
You want me to kill her? I know it is no easy request. The taking of a life should never be treated lightly. But, for the good of your country and for the sake of your father, are you willing? Your people will no longer starve. Your king will no longer be a cruel despot. I promise you kindness and prosperity.
No.
I don't think I can. Something doesn't feel right about it. I've never liked the girl, but evidently there's something very wrong here. I don't know if I could kill her. Very well, I understand. I will find some other path forward. Worry not. Everything proceeds as it was planned. Oh, that's, I guess, what... Huh, interesting. So this is the, like, tweak that, what's his name? Quince made that means that she will no longer assassinate me. Okay. Let's meet tomorrow night in town, not here. I shall have further information on keeping you and your family safe. Ophelia learns about a future event. Fine.
My lady.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Polonius. Your father's dead. There was an altercation with the prince. If there's anything I can do... I could probably stop that because I have the key to Gertrude's room now. No, that's fine. All of this is proceeding. Did I miss it?
Farewell.
Farewell, my dearest nephew. May your journey be swift and uneventful. May you be delivered quickly to England's arms. Terribly poetic.
Ophelia.
Ah, you're here, Ophelia. I'm now away to England, perhaps never to return. I hesitate to even ask if you'll think of me, if you'll miss me. Nope. There's been a change in plans.
Wonderful.
Ophelia's going to join you aboard the ship.
Yes.
Yes, Hamlet, I've been tasked with escorting you. What? In these troubled times, Claudius felt it would be best for you to have a familiar face close by. Alright, here we go. Bon voyage, beloveds. Take care. Hamlet, Queen Gertrude, King Claudius, Lady Rosencrantz, and Lady Guildenstern now believe Hamlet has gone to England. King Claudius now believes that Ophelia is going on the boat. Okay, yes. Hi, everybody. It's a note bearing the seal of the king. I've entrusted these orders to 2 loyal servants, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to ensure that to be executed upon arrival. This is a death warrant for Hamlet, written by Claudius. It'll never reach England now. Still, I wonder if Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were carrying this letter intentionally. My assumption is deception on all sides. It'll never reach England now because I took it, or because I know that Hamlet's going to find it? We have a long journey ahead of us. My lord and ladies, welcome aboard, your excellencies. By your faces, I don't recall having sailed with any of you before, save his majesty here. My name is Captain Norby. We'll be 3 days at sea. I have a burning question. When is supper? Gilda, we've only just left port. It's not quite noon. Lunch, then. I'm sure provisions can be arranged for you. Gilda, honestly, you're so common sometimes. I wouldn't even... Oh, no.
Lady Rosencrantz.
Are you all right? I've forgotten how horribly seasick I get. Please excuse me. Oh, no.
Farewell.
Farewell to Denmark. Farewell to that awful tower. May we be delivered to England as swiftly as possible. King has tasked me with ensuring Hamlet's demise before we return to Denmark. That could change the fate of Elsinore, but I'm not certain I can bring myself to do that. I should investigate while I'm here. Sure, let's investigate. If I knew how to steer a ship, I could go anywhere. Sure. Sailors. Aren't you excited for our big return to England? It's been such a long time since we ate and gallivanted our way around London. A chance at something new. You seem unhappy. Why? Merely cautious. I'd prefer to be on solid ground in England, away from my uncle's clutches. Listen, Guildenstern. It's been good to see you both again, but once we set foot on land, I think we should depart one another's company. For a long while, if not forever. I'm well aware you were working with my uncle to watch over me. I don't like that. Merely to observe, Hamlet. Everything we told you was the absolute truth. They're worried about you, your mother and father. This, our voyage, it's all they can think to do. So you see me as a menace, then? I don't, and you know I never have. I was hoping that when we arrived in England, we might discuss the future. I had assumed I might be a part of that future for you. Everything that happened between us in Wittenberg seemed... I thought you had come to feel for me the way I had you. I believe you were mistaken. I apologize for not being clearer with my intentions. Perhaps even for a short time back then I did love you. But things are different now. Well... Why is that? Don't tell me. I already know the answer. It's her, isn't it? For years I had trouble feeling strongly for anything Gilda, and now I feel strongly about this. Even if Ophelia doesn't return my affections, I love her still. You certainly felt strongly enough about me to bed me. Rosie warned me about you. She said you were the type to bed foreign women, that we should stay away. That's it, isn't it? That's why you do anything to be with Ophelia, too. Ooh. You can't simplify my feelings that way. Oh, but it's true, isn't it? We're like little items for you to collect, to build out your harem. Before me, it was Emine and others like her. Don't think I've forgotten.
Ophelia.
I can see this concerns me, so I've come to insert myself.
Ugh.
You've heard what I said then. I stand by it all the same.
Look.
What Gilda says is the truth, Hamlet. I've noticed it myself.
That's not true.
My feelings for you have always been complex. And the others? Have you ever loved another Danish woman? I mean a true-blooded Dane, Hamlet, not like me, not someone foreign-born. Interesting. I don't see what that has to do with anything. All men prefer a certain kind of beauty which is amenable to their tastes. So do I. What have I done wrong to find women like the two of you attractive? What does it matter if I've never loved anyone who looks like Brit? I find that sort of woman to be tiresome anyway. I don't think he realizes. Hamlet, think upon it a moment. What did you mean when you said you find that sort of woman to be tiresome? Women like her. The lily-faced, fair-haired sort who loudly protest every whim, and Danish women who look like her are all that way. Merely being near women like that is exhausting. I far prefer the company of women of your nature. You know, real women. And so you feel like all women like myself and Lady Guildenstern are somehow different.
Of course.
Of course. Isn't that clear? You sort are far kindlier, with greater cheer, and a captivating graciousness. Graciousness? Is that what you call it? At Wittenberg, women who look like Ophelia and me were afraid to refuse you. You're a prince. And if one of us was to spurn your advances, and you were to become angry for it, well then, I would never begrudge a woman for something like that. Oh, never? Come now, Hamlet. Do not mistake fear for graciousness, Hamlet, or you're more the fool than I ever thought. We may be landed, styled women, but we are not equal to you. Not in this world, not in Denmark. And you use that against us to find your next match.
Yes.
What she says is the truth. It is the reason I told you never to speak to me again. It is all too easy for you to ruin us. And we know this. It is only you who remain blind to it. Wow, that's a really interesting twist. Clearly, I've made a great number of women uncomfortable. Am I truly so blind to this element of the world, then? You're both right. I have this power, whether I ever wanted it or not, and I was too absorbed within myself to see it. Please excuse me. We may be friends still, but I find a sudden pressing urge to flee you.
Ophelia.
Ophelia, what have I done? Don't look to me for answers or comfort. You'll find your own way. You always seem to. Guildenstern now wants to avoid Hamlet. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if that goes different, or how different it goes if I'm not there to observe it. Like, is the outcome the same? Probably the outcome is the same. Rosie, please be careful. The king has set up a terrible plot involving you, Guildenstern, and Hamlet. I do think that this is... Oh, I probably should have talked to Guildenstern about it.
What?
He gave you a letter, did he not? Yes, but... There's something awful in that letter, isn't there? Hamlet will find it soon if he hasn't already. He'll believe you mean him harm. Well, now that I know of it, that's neither here nor there. I wouldn't hand over any such letter like that. Now you've tipped me off, it shan't be a problem. But Gilda would be crushed. She never wanted any harm to come to Hamlet. If you decide to tell her this news, please do it gently. How much did I just fuck stuff up? Trustworthiness aside, what Gilda said, it wasn't wrong. The way I think about her and Ophelia, I didn't think there was anything amiss with it until now. But how many women have I hurt? Am I just some irredeemable monster? Everyone despises me. All I do is cause pain. I don't know how to fix it, or how to be better. But starting today, I have to be better. As long as I choose to live, I choose to better myself. What were they doing in here earlier so secretive? A letter from Claudius. Bears the seal of Denmark. Luckily, I have one of my own to match. I've entrusted these orders to 2 loyal servants, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to ensure that he is to be executed upon arrival. He's asking for my death. The Queen of England is to remove my head. Okay, so I came in here and I found the letter, and I talked to Rosencrantz about it, but none of that prevents, like, I just wanted to remove the letter.
I see.
They must know about this. I knew they were under Claudius's thumb, but this is too far. Were they ever my friends at all? Was anything they said to me about our camaraderie ever true? And of course, Claudius never had any intention of letting me live free in England. Ought to have seen that one coming. I've made a fool of myself, and now the murderer rules Denmark free of anyone who knows his secret. Hamlet now wants to kill Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and believes that Claudius has ordered Hamlet's execution. Okay, well, fine. Captain, we're under attack. Stations men, hold firm. Oh shit! Oh, those pirates. Captain Grace, under attack. No, friends, you've already lost. How did she... Came around your flank. Y'all were looking at cannons. You were all looking at the cannons of my ship, weren't you? Anyhow, be on your knees and relinquish your cargo, and nobody has to lose a limb. Oh, Guildenstern, don't you know who this ship belongs to? Well, the Danish emblem on the sails gives me a wee inkling. He won't let you take her over so easily, will you, Hamlet? God damn it. That's pretty bad. Well, Hamlet! You're the most English-sounding Dane I've ever met in all my years. That wouldn't be Prince Hamlet, would it?
Yes.
I am Prince Hamlet, and on behalf of my people aboard this ship, I order you to stand down at once or risk immediate war with my country. After 3 seconds of deliberation, my answer is no. However, I'll happily take you as hostage for ransom. Hamlet, we're outnumbered. There's no sense in anyone losing their life. Go with them. Do what they say. Well, I can't leave you, Ophelia. Sweet on the moor, eh? I won't abandon her. She's here by my sake, and I won't leave her behind. So kill me if you must. I'll not go, nor deliver her into the hands of thieves. Well, that's a trick, eh? Normally, I'd have old Finnegan here throw you over his shoulder and be on with it. But, tell you what, if you won't come to O'Malley's vessel, we'll take over your beaten old ship for ourselves. We'll never swear allegiance to some pirate queen, nor serve under you. Yeah, I don't like being loyal to things. I do like Lady Guildenstern.
My ladies.
My tender ladies, you've no choice in the matter. Starting today, I'm your captain. Name's Grace O'Malley, though you can call me Evil Salty Bitch if it makes you feel any better. I and my men will be taking the captain's bunk, effective immediately. And what are we to do exactly? We were bound for England. I don't give a horse's ass what you do or where you are bound, so make of that what you will. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be charting a new course. You shouldn't have done that, Hamlet. Neither should I have slain your father. What's done is done. Captain Grace. Okay, Hamlet's upset. Hi, Captain Grace. Do not want to talk to me at all. Okay. Alright, well. Murphy. So, okay, but I thought Hamlet replaced the letter. When does that happen? I got nobody I can talk to about anything except I can talk to Guildenstern about the ship plot, and I don't really want to do that, so... Let's see what happens. May I speak to you alone? Perhaps the forecastle deck. Oh, God. The one near the bow. You've scarcely been on a sailing vessel, if ever. How do you know that? Well, I read, for one.
Listen.
The time has come to discuss our deliverance back to shore. We must rise up against the captain and take her by surprise. And then do what, exactly? We're utterly surrounded and outnumbered. We've no weapons of any kind. I can't bear a sword. Uncertain about Rosie and Gilda. There are still men loyal to us on board, and I've a plan besides. Soon the good captain will need to sleep, and at that point she'll be unarmed. Meanwhile, her lieutenant keeps the night watch. If he can be incapacitated, leaving her with no warning, then we rush her? But that woman didn't come here alone. Her first ship is fully manned and sails ahead of us. How will we return to Denmark once we've captured the ship? That's it. Just it. We don't have to return to Denmark. Merely run close enough to her shore so that Grace's men dare not pursue us longer. Without their leader's signal, they may be slow to react. I hate to admit this, but we might have the merest chance if the wind favors us. Glad I have your faith.
Now then.
Ought I to be afraid? Ophelia, if it should come to the worst of this matter, and Rosie and Gilda are captured, I have every intent of leaving them to Grace's sword. You'd let them die? Something happened. I don't want to discuss it, not yet. They're loyal to my uncle. He fills their pockets with coin. They've spied on me in return. In some ways, I'm merely their source of income. Whatever friendship we once had, it's changed. I should have realized they'd only look after themselves and each other. It's always been that way deep down. You and I are the only ones who matter in this horrible, ugly world, and I'd sooner you live than I. Huh. Hamlet, I think your priorities may be misplaced if keeping me alive is your role. Why wouldn't it be? Never mind it. Let's put this plan into action and see what happens. Ophelia acquires the information mutiny. Well, I mean, I'm incredibly tempted. Can we just become pirates? Hi, Pitsy. Yeah, so this is an alternate reality where we managed to follow Hamlet on his pirate adventure. And we're just being kind of destructive about it. I think that this is like a... I mean, Laertes is gonna die when Fortinbras attacks the castle. Polonius is already dead. Let's become pirates.
Captain.
Prince Hamlet has a plan to retaliate against you. Violently. I'd be willing to share details.
Well.
Does he now? Do tell.
I see.
Fascinating. Thank you much, lady. I have much respect for those whose hearts I can trust. I won't forget this. Captain Grace now believes there will be a mutiny against Grace. Okay, well, let's see how that goes. I like how our map is still giving us information about events that are happening in Elsinore. Now, says Hamlet. Well, time for the masks to come off. Well played, everyone.
What?
Yes, what on earth is happening? Heard about your little plan to overthrow me, Princey. Luckily, your last Ophelia here tipped me off ahead of time.
How could you?
Why would you betray my confidence, Ophelia? I don't know. Some people just want to watch the world burn. For the dog who would throw his companions to the depths, I have a special punishment. Hamlet was going to have us killed. Why would he do that? What did we do to wrong him?
My lady.
He uncovered the truth of the letter from the king you two bore. It asked for his execution. I told you about it!
But
I didn't know that. The letter was sealed, after all. I should have known it would come to this.
Vile dogs.
This is why I hate you all, the courtly crowned lot. All you do is murder one another. Look who's talking! You speak so prettily and it amounts to nothing. One day you are family. The next you're at each other's throats. Out here on the sea, I trust my crew more than any one of you. I'd kill you all outright, but seeing as that Ophelia here saw fit to warn me in advance.
Now then.
I'll be keeping the ship as my prize, and I'll leave you on Danish shores. Clean up this blood in the meantime to stains the wood. Hamlet dies. Guildenstern is crushed. Rosencrantz is okay. I wanted to become a pirate. You're not gonna let me do that, are you? Okay, well...
On your way now.
We've arrived. This ship and all our wares are mine now. On your way now. Okay. Who's gonna come? Claudius. Well done. So it's true. I heard you'd returned. And my idiot nephew is handled at last. I'm impressed. You've done exactly what I needed of you. It appears you are quite a whit more cunning than you seem. You have my thanks and my gratitude. Okay. And here's Laertes.
Ophelia.
Yeah, I would be surprised if there wasn't a way to become a pirate, just based on what I've heard about the game. But it's interesting. I feel like I didn't have a lot of options. I didn't have a lot of dialogue options with either O'Malley or anybody else who was on the ship. So I don't know what it would be. I heard your ship was returned to port, and so was yours, it seems. Yes. I was at port in Aelberg when I heard about Polonius. I'm safe.
Listen.
I cannot believe Hamlet acted alone. Someone spurred him, and what do you intend to do about it? Ensure no one can ever threaten my family again. What does that mean? What does that... Wait, what does that mean? Are you going to try to overthrow Claudius? Hamlet will not rise from the grave in the context of this game, at least. I don't think. I mean, you know, ghosts are established lore, but I'm pretty sure Hamlet doesn't. Well, okay, now what? I don't know what's going to happen. I guess we'll just find out what happens. It's Sunday. Fortinbrau's going to invade. Is it really true you didn't witness Hamlet's death? What?
I see.
You don't have to say anything, but thank you. Thank you for father, for me. You did what was right. What? Why? Wait, what happened to Laertes? I find that really confusing. Okay. I hear a commotion. The castle's being stormed. Laertes maybe is okay, actually. For those of you who have not made our acquaintance, we're Prince Fortinbras. Now stand down, Denmark. Day is one before you've carried forth. Prince Fortinbras, what are you doing here? We had an agreement. Unfortunately for you, your own country's nobility made a far better one. No one must die, Claudius. Declare your fealty to us, and we will leave you with some small status. We are not a savage ruler. Declare fealty to you, a boy no older than my nephew. Ex-nephew. I wrested this throne to my hand with the labors of my own sweat and ambition, and a vial of poison that I poured in the king's ear. I will hand it to no one. My lady, you are his wife. As I understand it, you are beloved by your people. Can you speak no sense to him? You speak to me so kindly, but assume I will be pliant to you. So long as my husband lives, Denmark is ours. I will die to keep it so. Very well. You sign your own death warrants, so be it. Men to arms. A sight like this befits the battlefield, but here shows much amiss. Out of respect for all this land has suffered, go bid the soldiers shoot. Okay, but Laertes didn't die.
How curious.
Interesting. But we'll be exiled. Okay, well. Since this world is ending. That's everyone for myself again. Interesting how I keep finding the same endings. What? Where? Is there a cat in the room? I didn't see a cat.
You mustn't.
I
It was under the desk. Oh, maybe there are cats and dogs that sort of come and go. Okay, yeah, it must be. Okay. Unless it was Shiro. Here's what I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna stop here for today. And come back tomorrow and do what? I think I'm gonna look for hints for other endings that might be interesting. Because clearly it is designed so that all of the endings are bad. But I'm really unhappy with the endings that we have found so far. At least for the most part. So, and there are so many that we haven't gotten. And not a lot that I can like really think through. Like, we could try to run off with Othello, maybe. I don't know about that. We could there are a couple of like plot threads we could investigate further, but I'm not super interested in doing that at this point. Like, I want to see what the ending options are. And I do think that one of the things that part of the intended experience of the game would have involved us finding some more of those endings before we got to this point, before we sort of got to the end game point. But we didn't, and I'm curious about why that is, like what the mechanism of that actually is. I feel like, I don't know, maybe we're just really focused on the end game in a way that I didn't need to be. But now I do yeah. Okay. So we're going to stop here. I want to address the Amaranth's question, I think. If I still have it. Yes. So let's talk about this for a minute. And then I think come back tomorrow with some spoilers and play through a couple of endings that seem interesting. And Kyla especially, but if anybody has played this game, if there's stuff that you think would be fun, then give me hints on how to get it, because I'll try it out. But Amaranth had asked earlier, and then we can do some Q&A tomorrow maybe. Amaranth had asked earlier, after the conversation about choice with the ghost, the gameplay of the end game seems a little tedious, exploring the various possibilities that maybe were intended to be discovered before, and choosing one, and there is no more of the interesting plot twist. Would there be a way, mechanics or narrative, to fix this a little? And I think that I totally agree with this. And I think that part of the problem is that some of this work ought to have been done before, and there are ways that you can encourage that. The problem is that this game does a fair bit of that. It has like quite a few really twisty kinds of plot threads that lead you to especially the Peter Quince stuff. We just did that. Like, we did that early. So now we find ourselves in this end game, and I think the the problems that I have with it, again, like, there are ways that the game has some shortcuts. So, like, the key to Gertrude's room, I think, is a fantastic example, right? Like the card game that gives you access to town, right? You find out that information, and now I can go to town whenever I want. Now I can get into Gertrude's room whenever I want because I know where the key is. Great, cool. I like that a lot. I wish there were more of those that were... I don't know that I wish there were more of those. I don't know that you can do more of those. The thing that I wish was there were similar kinds of shortcuts for the larger events of the game, right? And especially for... the game is clearly divided up into sort of... I don't want to say choice points because that sounds binary and it's really not binary, but moments of influence, and that influence is not it's not clearly coded into the game, by which I mean, like, there's not a moment where you make a decision that is going to affect this or that. But when I play through a loop, I do take actions that are significant, and those actions are relatively small and recorded, right? So I go and I talk to Hamlet and I tell him about, the plot. I tell him that Claudius killed his dad, right? I could do that first thing on Thursday morning, or I could do it on, I don't know, Saturday sometime maybe. And when I do it, maybe like has an effect on how things turn out. But the action that I take is that sort of small discrete action. So I feel like there are ways that you could try to represent, if not, here are all of the possible things that you could do. Here's a run of the game where you did some things. Now, what if you went to a particular moment in time? Basically, what I want is in Groundhog Day, the Bill Murray movie, the loop, time loop. They can do montage, right? They can sort of have a shortcut to, you see what Bill Murray does up to this point, and then we can show you 3, 4, 5 clips cut together of different days, starting at that exact moment, starting in those circumstances, but doing different things and seeing what the different outcomes would be. I really wish that I had a button that was like, I don't know, bookmark maybe. Like, remember what I did up to now. Next time that we run through this, I want to do the exact same thing. Because I can do that. The game makes it trivial for me to do the exact same thing again. It's just tedious to actually do it. And part of that is that there are these conversations that happen. There are events that play out, especially if you're in a particular place when they happen. And all of that dialogue that is like conversation that's required to get to a place that you can't fast forward, that you can't skip through. Persona 5, I recently did another playthrough of Persona 5, and it has a feature that I really, really like. Especially for a game where that game is not especially designed to be replayed multiple times, but I think the developers know that because it's a niche game, because of the nature of their audience, it is going to be played multiple times by a large segment of its core audience. It's a game that has, but it's not alone in this. A lot of like visual novel style games will have skip button type things. It's got a literal fast forward feature, so it just plays cutscenes and dialogue at like 10 times, 5 or 6 maybe times speed, slow enough that you can sort of see what's happening. Like, it doesn't just skip over it entirely, but fast enough that you can kind of zip through a conversation real quickly. And I like that a lot. I like having that option. I wish that this game had that option for the 3rd or 4th time that I talked to Lady Britt about getting her paints, or Gertrude stealing her letters or whatever, that I could sort of zip through that conversation and not have to read the whole thing and not have to click through the whole thing. So I think there are things that this game could do to sort of minimize the friction that happens in this endgame, where I feel like my role right now is searching the possibility space of endings, right? And there are a couple of things that are frustrating about that. One is the repetition, and the sort of like, there's quite a lot of tedium of, I'm going to make this small change and wait 4 days to see what happens. And then the other is that I don't have a great sense of what the scope of endings are. I know that there's like 10 of them, and I've found 3, I think. And I've found 2 of those 3 several times. So clearly I'm not good at knowing what is going to sort of take me to a new ending. What is going to count as sort of unexplored space. Because some of those times when I arrived at an ending that I already had, I thought it was going to be different because different people lived or died. I understand why and how they are categorizing them in these sort of larger sets of like generally what happens, but it matters to me if Laertes dies or not, right? That ending where I get exiled and presumably Lady Britt sits on the throne or something, it matters to me whether Laertes was like killed or not, or managed to survive. And it also matters to me whether Polonius lived or died, right? But the game is kind of only concerned with, did Hamlet live or die? Did Fortinbras succeed? Then this is the ending. Like, this is where we are. So I guess my complaint is on that is twofold. Is like, and this is just a difficulty in all interactive narrative, right? You see this all the time. I want the game and the writing of the game, in terms of outcomes, in terms of what can happen, I want the game to care about the same things that I do as a player, especially when I am playing the character, right? So in this case, for Ophelia maybe doesn't care if Irma dies or not. Like, that maybe isn't significant. But I feel like Ophelia does care if Laertes dies or not. And having those sort of compressed into the same ending feels weird to me. In the same way that there are better examples of this, but I keep going back to Dragon Age Inquisition. I played an elf in Inquisition, and there is a set of side quests based on your home tribe, your Dalish tribe, and they get into trouble, and you can sort of try to solve that. But it's just side quests. It's just map quests. It's not something that you as a player actually do. And I don't remember what I did wrong, but I got an ending where the whole tribe was wiped out. They were all killed. And that was devastating to me as a player. Holy shit, my family and everybody that I ever knew, the tribe that I came from, they all died. But the game wasn't really concerned with that, because that's not what the game is about. And I think that the game sort of thought, as a player, I should care about the things that the game cares about, and was not expecting me to care so much about this minor side quest that I thought was like really important, right? And I was really disappointed by how it handled the ending of that and the gravitas that it gave it. So there's that, and then there's also the like, well, I don't know what the other endings are, and that is also a problem, right? Like, how does the game tell me what the other endings are or point me in their direction until I have found them, until I know what the other endings are? And I don't know that I have a solution for that. I don't know that Elsinore does, or even necessarily should, but like that is kind of a, when you get to this point where the action of the game is tedious because it involves a lot of repetition, of the same scenes or the same dialogue, or standing in one place and sort of waiting for time to go by. If also there's this sort of ambiguity or uncertainness about what is it that I'm actually trying to accomplish as well, those things just compound. That just makes it difficult. So my hope is to sort of ameliorate that a little bit by looking some stuff up, getting hints from people, getting some ideas about what we should do, and hopefully just knocking out a couple of more endings so that we can get a better sense. I think as a player, what I do want to do is get just get more than 3. Like, get a little bit of a sample of endings. I don't feel the need to see all of them, but I would like to be able to pick sort of the best one from several. And right now we have 3, and they all seem bad, and it just feels like there are more options that we don't have than good options that we have, is sort of how I'm feeling. So let's do that. Been talking. Oh, 999. Wait, what are we talking about 999 for? Oh, a tree. Some games present an entire tree of the story decisions for the purpose of reverting to an exact point and trying other branches. The original 999, I don't think had that, because I did play that. That's a whole other conversation, 999. I do think that it had the ability to fast forward through conversations when you played it the second time. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. In my memory, it kept track of whether you had seen a conversation before, and if you had, then a little button popped up that said, "You want to just fast forward through this?" And if you hadn't, then it would play it long form. But I'm not sure if that's right. So for later versions of it or sequels, having an entire tree of decision making, I mean, I think that I would love to look at that UI, honestly, and see how that's done, because that does seem like a solution to this kind of problem. It seems really inelegant and very gamey, in the sense that sort of it is disconnected from the narrative, right? When we think about games versus simulations versus stories, that feels like it's really heavy on the game side. And this game in particular is not that gamey. It is much more story-based and simulationist. So I feel like it would feel pretty out of place to be given a sort of decision tree, or like a matrix of decisions. I don't know that would be right for this game, but it is a way to present that kind of agency to the player, and I do wish that like some degree of that agency was available in this game. So I don't know. I don't have like a real good solution. No, Chainsaw, you're allowed to say ludonarrative dissonance. That's fine. Yes, and Kyla, you're right. Like, it is equally unlikely. So I got to the end game and I only had 2 endings, and one of them is the one that it gives you, right? I had only found one actual additional ending. I think that is pretty extreme and probably doesn't happen a lot. I think it's probably a bell curve, and I think it's also true that it does not happen a lot that somebody finds all of the endings before they get to the end game. The way that I feel about it, and the way that as a player sort of I would approach it, is I don't, because I'm not that much of a completionist, I don't feel like I need to get all of the endings. I feel like if I had a decent selection of them, then I would probably feel good and be done with the game. Okay, good. Cool. All right. Thanks everybody. That was fun. We went long again, but it's okay. I'm gonna go for a walk before it gets too dark. And we'll come back. If you have suggestions of things that we should do to get interesting endings, hit me up on Twitter, and I will we'll look at a wiki or something and get some ideas. And we'll do a short. We'll try to burn through some of those, and then do some more Q&A tomorrow. I think will be fun to round out the week. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe.